Hi, I am Yesika Aguilera, and I'm a technology business expert who has been featured by Forbes 30 Under 30 twice for disrupting the industry. And after creating two technology companies, one of them that focuses on mobile energy solutions to support remote areas, the other one, a company that supports people to boost their productivity with artificial intelligence. I can definitely say that I eat, I breathe, and sleep technology. So during my journey, I have learned to pick up certain ways of thinking in order to come up with disruptive services and technologies, especially if you are surrounded by innovation all the time. So one of them, it's making the problem personal. I think that's my first step whenever I'm about to create a service or whenever I'm going to create a technology or innovation. And I'm sure that you must have heard before that find a problem and then create a solution. But I suggest to you go even further than that. Try to understand the problem, but from a perspective that the problem it's yours. Make it your own. That way you'll be able to think like your customer, think what are the needs that they have, the problems they face on their day-to-day basis. Another way I also use in order to motivate me and my team and also see the vision, it's whenever they bring me with data or numbers, I don't see just numbers, I see people. I see children that they don't have access to digital education. I see what would have happened if this was to be me. What would this happen if this was to be my son? And this is the only way to create products and innovations that will definitely revolutionize the market, because it's no longer just fixing the problem, it's making it yours in a way that it will change the way you live, it will change the way you conduct your life, and that's the only way you can create disruptive solutions or become better than your competition. My second point is become an expert at forecasting the future. We live in times that the market changes all the time. Technology is evolving every second. And even if technology doesn't change or is evolving, people, human behaviors are changing, habits. And there's so many factors at the moment. For example, something that nobody expected, it was COVID-19, and how this would actually have an impact on companies. So if you want to have a company or a service that will last for a very long time, or it will be a cockroach company or startup, and this is a concept that cockroaches can't resist anything. So you really need to be able to see how people's habits will change due to that factor. So after COVID-19, people were just working from home. People stopped going to offices. So try to find a way how would this actually have an impact to your industry. Something that we saw in the first companies that I co-founded, which is the mobile energy company, it was that more than 1 billion of children didn't have access to education. So for this reason, we created a mobile energy solution that turns any space into smart classroom. So it has modular batteries, it has a projector, 2 speakers, and it can transform any place into a smart classroom. You can also take it into commercial flights, and it also has an energy platform for you to know how much energy you're creating through solar energy to educate consumers. but it was the only way for us to come up with a solution. It was because we understood the impact that COVID was having during the time that children in remote areas weren't having access to technology because there was no energy. So we immediately reacted and created the solution. So just make sure that you're always on top of the news, make sure you're always on top of the trends, make sure you're also on top of what is the next generation thinking, because remember, the service that you're creating now is not only going to be used for the generation that you're tackling, but you want to continue lasting to the next one. So for that reason, I suggest you surround yourself as well with people from the other generations. This generation will be Generation Z in order to continue evolving your product. The third one that for me was also very useful, and before I would say this is something that will set you apart, but this time I will say that it's a must. And I'm actually glad to say it, that as a society we have evolved and everyone is thinking twice whenever they purchase a product, because they want to create an impact in their society. So, as you may have guessed, yes, the third one is create a positive impact in your community, in your industry. So, it's not longer about just making money. It's no longer anymore about thinking about your company and bonuses. I believe that the coming companies, disruptive companies, they have always been about giving to the communities. If we looked about Airbnb, was about creating accommodations that were affordable for people. If we looked at Uber, it was about a different way of transportation. It also raised many jobs. I know that there's a lot of dilemma going on due to the laws and policies of many places, but I just want you to grasp the concept that it has always been about improving things for people. In our case, when we created the mobile energy solutions, especially helping to create any place into a smart classroom, it was about creating equality in the digital education. It was about embracing people so they can actually become their own heroes, the ones that could create their own technologies. But this can only happen if they get real equality of education, and you really need digital education for this. So that was a way of thinking. The other company that I created, it was especially was during COVID-19, as everyone was working from home. Majority of the companies started pushing people to return to their offices because they didn't have the tools to measure the productivity. So we created a technology with artificial intelligence that can track the productivity, but most importantly, that can actually boost by creating courses for their health in a tailored way. Everyone works in a different manner. So we created something that creates positive impact, because with this tool, then technologies were not pushing their employees to return to work, as they could actually see that they were working. And it was a way of, or it was a way to support people to work anywhere in the world. I believe that the future is going to be about freedom, as if we have developed all these technologies, I don't think we should actually be just pinned down to an office or to a desk. Hence why we also created mobile energy solutions, so you can actually work in Antarctica, in the mountain Everest, in the most craziest way. So whenever I got involved in a project, it has always been to provide freedom to people to work in different places. But that's my way of creating positive impact. So whenever you think about your service or your product, think about how you can actually provide this impact into your community as well. Number 4 for me, it has always been about embracing diversity. I come from a very multicultural background. I'm half Japanese and half Latino, and I have also, but I'm British. I have been raised in the UK, and my company is from Finland. So, and I have traveled all across the globe. One of the things to have a disruptive mindset, it's to understand things from a different perspective. Just to give you an idea, someone that's from a rural area that doesn't have access to energy, they will see energy from a different perspective than someone in an area where they have access to energy. So to give you an idea, for them, it will be like a necessity. A power bank will be a necessity because they can charge their laptops, their phones, tablets, and someone from remote location, someone from the city, they will see it as, something, a commodity, because they have access to energy all the time. So communicating your message, it will always be different from one person to another, culture, ages. So my recommendation to you will be surround yourself with different people, and this will be the best way for you to understand your product. They have always been there has been issues of companies before as well, naming the products in ways that they shouldn't have. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to swear right now in different languages. But I believe that those mistakes wouldn't have happened if they would have got involved people from different ethnicities, cultures, languages, and ages. But if you surround yourself always with the same people, and I will just give direct messages. Engineers get along with marketeers. Marketeers also get along with engineers, mix around each other. Because believe me, every mind is completely different. And if you surround yourself with different people, your innovations will also become even more powerful, because you'll be joining different parts of the puzzle to create something magical and unique. And my 5th one, and the last one that I think is very important, it's execute. Just go for it and don't wait till everything is perfect. When it comes to disruptive businesses, there will be many errors, there will be many tweaks that you need to make, but you won't be able to know, despite you have a multicultural team, despite you have different minds, you will always have errors, and that's the beauty of innovation. So just launch it and wait for your customers to tell you what to fix, how to fix it. Don't try to perfect it, because perhaps when you have launched the product or service, you will realize that people don't really need it. So imagine having wasted so much time and for nothing. So my advice is, first, find out whether it's something that people need, ask questions, and afterwards, of course, once you reach to the execution, just go for it, even though there's flaws in the project, and then you can fix it. I remember the first time we launched our solar backpacks, and also the platform for the artificial intelligence. Looking back, I I just laugh because you know that there are certain things that perhaps could have been better, but at the same time, I don't regret any of it. As of course, along the way we perfected it, we became better. But if you wait, sometimes the market may have moved so fast to the point that they no longer need your solution. So, having said that, just to summarize, ensure that you make the problem personal to you. Be able to master the skill of forecasting the future. Ensure that your product, or I should say your business, has a positive impact in your community, and embrace diversity. And the fifth one will be just go for it. Don't wait for something to be perfect. So having said that, I really hope this will bring your businesses to the next level and also help you have a very disruptive mindset. So thank you very much.